Hello.
Yes, Apoorv, we can hear you. So
Yeah,
let's wait
perfect.
for all the panelists to join, and the attendees are also coming in. Welcome, Anand.
Hi, Vipul. Good morning.
Good morning. So let's wait for Leandy to join in, and
Sure.
we'll be starting by 11:32 or 33. So Leandy is
Okay.
here. Welcome, Leandy. I hope you can hear us. So to all the participants who are joining, welcome for the webinar on careers in sports management and sports sciences by Institute of Sports Science and Technology and ISST School of Fitness Sciences. So let's wait for a couple of more minutes for more people to join in. We've got a record number of 480 plus students enrolling for this webinar, which is a very
That's
good number.
brilliant.
So
Yeah.
let's wait
That's brilliant.
for them to join in. So let me see who all have joined in. Saeed, Deepak, Shriram, Aleen, Anshu, Anurag. Thank you for joining. Bhavin, Ashwani, Charu, Darshini, Debrata, Sri Lakshmi, Dibya. Thank you for joining in. Kavisha, Kenvi. The numbers are growing. It's good to see such good numbers coming in for this webinar. So we've got 67 plus attendees now. Leandy is back. Thank you for joining, Leandy. Can you hear us?
Hi, sorry, I'm having a little bit of internet issues.
Yeah, we
Can
can
you guys
hear you
hear
now.
me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, great.
So let's wait for a couple of more minutes before people join in. So on behalf of the Institute of Sports Science and Technology, ISST, and ISST School of Fitness Sciences, ISFS, we welcome all of you for this webinar on careers in sports management and sports sciences. We've got a record number of 480 plus registrations for this webinar, and we are looking forward for people joining in. People have registered not only from India but from other countries as well. So it is good to see that ISST is having a wider reach today. So we've crossed 100. Thank you again for joining. Let's take 2 more minutes before others join in, and then we can start with the introduction by Apoorv. So let me introduce our panelists, Anand Pandya, Leandy Vanzel, and Apoorv Bagrecha, who's our marketing head, will be moderating the whole webinar. So he'll be starting with the introduction of the panelists, and then we'll go ahead, have some presentations. Then we'll be having our panelists talk on their respective topics. And in the end, we'll be taking questions and answers from the audience. So all the people, all the audience, be ready with your questions. You can also type in the questions if you have any right now in the chat box, so we can take it up during the question answer session. We'll try to take most of the questions because the number of attendees is quite large, and we don't want to miss out on any of the questions. But still, if we miss out on any of the questions, or we have not answered any of your questions, you can get in touch with us on our office numbers. Later on, you can email us, or you can find us on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. You can message us individually there as well. We are happy to have you for this webinar. So the numbers are growing. 142 have joined as yet. So I think we can start. Let me give the dais to Apurv, who can introduce the panelists and give a way forward for this webinar.
Thank you, Dr. Vipul Lunawat. Hi, everybody. A very good morning to you all. I'm Apurv Bagrecha, the marketing head. And on behalf of the Institute of Sports Science and Technology, I welcome each individual onto this webinar on careers in sports management and sports sciences. I introduce you to the expert panel of speakers who will share their experiences and knowledge in their respective fields of sports management, sports science, and the fitness industry. Firstly, let me introduce you to Liandi Van Ziel, who is the head of sports science at CERT HN Reliance Foundation Hospital. She is a certified strength and conditioning specialist and has over 6 years of experience working with national and international athletes from various sports such as cricket, football, badminton, archery, athletics, kabaddi, wrestling, and boxing. Our second speaker for today is Mr. Anand Pandya, who is the co-founder of ISST School of Fitness and Sciences and is also associated with Kalvarkars as the Assistant Vice President responsible for marketing, operations, and business development. He has also been operating the David Lois Kalvarkars, which is the best Kalvarkar sports club in Pune, India. Our third speaker for today is the founder and director of Institute of Sports Science and Technology, Dr. Vipul Lunawat. He has a PhD in sports management and has also level 2 coaching certification from Australian Ice Racing in short track speed ice skating and also certified by Olympic Solidarity, Melbourne, Australia. Thank you everybody for joining in, and thank you to all the speakers for joining in for this informative webinar which is going to be today held. And now I hand over the dais to Dr. Vipul Lunawat, who will be talking about the sports education and the sports management today. Thank you. Dr. Vipul Lunawat will be introducing you to the sports management and the sports education topic.
Yeah, thank you, Apurv. I'm happy to share my experience with all the attendees, and welcome all to a grand welcome to all the speakers again to join this webinar. So let's begin. First, we'll be sharing a small introduction about what exactly is sports management and sports science education. So just a quick introduction on that. We have a small presentation which we would like to share with all of you. So give me a moment before I switch into the presentation. Yeah. Yeah. So when we talk about sports education, we can broadly divide sports education in 3 categories. Just give me a minute. There is some technical glitch in the presentation. Yeah, as you can see, there are different verticals of sports education. We can broadly classify them in 3 different sectors. One is physical education, which basically talks about different aspects of physical education of children or athletes. And then we have the sports management education, which is more to do with the sports business aspect, covering how a sports business is taken care of or how it is administered or governed. And then is the sports performance aspect, which is coming under the sports sciences domain. So these 3 are the basic differentiation criteria under sports education. So when we talk about sports management, most of the students don't have a clue wherein what is sports management and what sports sciences is. Most of them feel that both these topics are similar and they basically are the same. But here we have a small presentation wherein we talk about the different facets of sports management. So under sports management, we cover all these different topics as you can see on the screen. wherein we cover sports governance, we cover ethics and integrity, we cover event management, we cover PR, public relations, presentation and communication skills. We cover sports marketing today. We cover strategy management, financial management, human resource management, sports law and arbitration, which is an upcoming field. We cover operations of sports facility management, operations and sports facility management, sports entrepreneurship and innovation. Then we cover sports journalism and media management. Then we cover sports technology, which is again a new upcoming field, which can also be linked to the sports sciences domain. We have sports analytics, which is also a part of sports sciences, and sports tourism. So I think these are the most broadly covered subjects or topics under sports management, wherein we talk mostly about the business aspect of sport. Now, when we say that these are the different topics covered under sports management, let's see what kind of career opportunities which are available in the market once you do a proper education in sports management. So under sports management, we have these different job openings or job positions which are available in the market. You can be a club facility manager, you can be a marketing manager of a team, of a sports team or a sports company or an organization. You can work in the admin and operations as a manager. You can be a financial manager. You can be a human resource manager who works extensively with recruiting staff, giving them the proper training and developing their potential to get the highest possible output from them. You can be an athlete manager, wherein you manage different aspects of the athlete, right from getting endorsements to managing his career. Then you can work as a business development manager, wherein you can work with a sports company or organization to develop different business aspects. You can work as an event manager. Sports is all about events. So I think this is one very important job position or role which is available in the market today. Social media manager is one new job role which has come up due to the development of social media content which we see on different websites today. And I think it can broadly be classified under marketing management topic, but social media manager is a new vertical which has come up, and almost all of the businesses today hire a social media manager to manage their social media presence. Then we have a security manager. So for large facilities, stadiums, large events, we need a manager who manages all the security security functions. So a security manager is one post. Sales manager who looks at sales aspects of sports organizations. Sponsorship manager. Now this is an interesting job role where a manager basically looks at getting revenues for any event or organization through brand endorsements and sponsorships. Then we have a PR manager, which is nothing but public relations manager who manages the connect between the company and the media. So it can be coming under the broad spectrum of sports journalism. Then we have a sports journalist who basically, so under sports journalism we can have people who cover sport, who write articles, who publish news in the media. We can also have sports photography as a part of sports journalism, which is an upcoming field now. Data analyst. So when we say data analyst, data can be analyzed in terms of the performance parameters, or also we have video analysts which look at the different video aspects of sport, and they help the coaches or the support staff for devising their strategy in the game. So these are two important roles which have come up in today's modern sport. Then we have a legal manager who basically manages the legal aspects of a company or an organization. We have a strategy manager who plans strategies for different organizations. So these roles can vary from company to company. The bigger the company, the more roles they might have. Most of the times in smaller companies or in medium companies, these roles are interlinked, and one person can do multiple roles in smaller companies. Then we have a ticketing manager. Nowadays we see a lot of leagues which are there. and to manage all the audience, all the events, we need a ticketing manager who will be working with a lot of online payment gateways or websites like Book My Show or some ticketing websites which cater to ticketing, online ticketing for sports events. Then we have hospitality manager who basically manages uh, the accommodation during events, or he manages the athletes who are coming for different events. This can also be, hospitality manager can also be a post for big sports companies. So I think these are the widely used job positions under sports management. Once you complete sports management, these are the available job openings or the designations which are in the market. So when we talk about sports sciences, these are the different uh, topics or subjects which we usually cover under sports sciences. To start with, anatomy and physiology of human body. So the study of how the human body functions or works is very important in sports sciences, and this is what comes under the basics of sports sciences. Then we have biomechanics, as in how a human body should, the laws of physics which are there are coming under sports biomechanics, and how they are applicable to the sports field are studied under sports biomechanics. Then we have fitness assessment, wherein we assess, there are different assessment parameters for different athletes for different sports. So there are different assessment tools. Anthropometry is one wherein you measure the different measurements of the human body, and there are a few other assessments, fitness assessments or sports assessments which are done. So I'm sure Leandy will be able to highlight all these aspects in detail later on. Then we have sports injury management and rehabilitation, wherein we cover how injuries in sports are managed. Then we have a topic called sports coaching. So I think sports coaching is a very big science which is involved with developing athletes, young athletes, working with elite athletes, and you should have the right skills to develop coaching skills. Uh, so it broadly comes under sports sciences only. Then we have strength and conditioning, which is to do with increasing different attributes of strength and conditioning. Then we have sports nutrition, which covers what an athlete should have in his diet and diet planning and all those things. Few other things which are there are aqua therapy, yoga. There are different therapies which are used to enhance the performance. Then we have performance enhancement technology, which so there are different technologies which are in the market which are used to assess strength in the muscles, or are helpful to grow strength in the muscles. So these are used basically under the performance enhancement technology module. Then we have planning and development for athletes, which comes under long-term athlete development planning and strategic planning, which is done. So all these have to be combined into this planning module, wherein you use all these other facets of sports sciences and design a long-term athlete development program. Another important topic we cover under sports sciences is sports psychology and mental training, which is which has taken a very important part in today's sports performance world, and it is very important for an athlete to be mentally fit. So sports psychology is the topic which covers covers topics on mental training. Then we have sports analytics. Again, all the data which is collected through assessments, through different technologies being used in sports sciences has to be analyzed and again reworked upon. So there is a circle wherein you first assess the athlete, then you identify the weaknesses and strengths in that athlete. You work on the weaknesses. Again, you do the assessments and you analyze that, and then you again redesign a new program for the athlete. So this circle of sports science is what you would learn under planning development programs for athletes. So when we talk about sports sciences, let us see what are the job openings available in the market under sports sciences. One job role would be a nutritionist, wherein you design diets for athletes. strength and conditioning coach who works extensively with athletes to develop strength and other attributes like stamina, flexibility, endurance, etc. Then you have a fitness trainer who works specifically on the fitness aspect of the athlete. Then sports psychologist, sports biomechanist who works on the technique to get the proper technique of the athlete, which is backed by the laws of physics. Then you have a sports physio, basically who takes care of the injuries of the athlete. We have a massage masseur or the massage therapist who works on rehabilitation of injuries or relaxing the athlete. Then we have a sports physician or the doctor who basically takes a wide role under which he's basically managing the sports medicine aspect of the team. We have an athlete development manager who basically manages all these different verticals under sports sciences of an athlete. We have a high performance expert who again is responsible for designing different programs for athletes. Coaching expert, so there are different coaches for different sports. Performance analyst, analysis is done for athlete performance. So the role of a performance analyst is to analyze how the athlete is performing, what are the strengths and weaknesses where he has to grow and all that, and he has to prepare a plan for the athlete to grow further. Then we have sports technology experts who work extensively with the latest sports technology and help the athletes to improve their performance. We have a rehab specialist, which also comes under a sports physio, but we can have a specific rehab specialist who helps the athletes to recover fast from the injuries. And then we again have a video analyst in sports sciences who basically works with athletes to improve their performance. There is another new, or we might say another vertical to education under sports education, which is for fitness education. So under fitness education, you can be a personal fitness coach, you can be a personal trainer, you can be a fitness trainer, you can be a master trainer, you can be a dietitian, you can be a fitness programmer, you can be a fitness tester, fitness manager, branch manager, regional manager, or higher positions like assistant vice president or vice president of a gym or a fitness organization which deals with fitness of athletes. So I think we broadly have classified sports education in three verticals like we saw earlier. One is physical education, which is just to do with the basic physical movements or the functional movements of the human body and just to keep one physically fit. When we talk about sports management, we extensively talk about how sports is looked at as a business and managed professionally the way corporates do. And under sports sciences, we looked at the different subjects or topics covered under sports sciences and the different job roles which are there for performance improvement or development of athletes. So I think this is the basic presentation we had. I give the dais back to Apurv so he can introduce other panelists and they can take up their part of the webinar. Thank you so much. I hope you have understood what are the basic differences between sports management and sports sciences. We will be taking your questions at the end. So if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat window and we'll take them in the end of the webinar. Yes, Apurv.
Thank you, Dr. Vipul Lunawat, for your wonderful insights on the topic of sports industry and the fitness industry. I now hand over the dash to Liandi to talk on how sports science is important to improve performance and what are the opportunities there in the field according to her.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll just share my screen if you guys can just give me access.
Liandi, you can start the video. Do you have a presentation to share?
Yes, I do. Let me just... you guys have to give me access. It's saying the host disable participant screen sharing.
Okay, if you can share your your presentation with me, I'll share it from here because I don't think we can give a screen sharing access to you from here.
Should be possible actually if you click on the share screen button and just say give access.
Let me check. Share computer sound optimize. No, I think this basically this is this is a webinar software, so I don't think they have a screen sharing for the panelists.
Sorry guys, just give me 1 second. I'll just send it to you.
Yeah, just mail it to me and I'll open it from here. So we've got a couple of good questions coming in, which we will take up at the end of the webinar. Leandy, I hope you have my mail ID.
Yes, I do. Sorry, just give me 1 second. Sorry guys, technology.
So give us a minute before we share the presentation Leandy has to share with all of us.
Right, sent it.
Yeah, I'll just check. So if any one of you would have any questions, you can put it in the chat box. We are going to take the questions at the end of the webinar. Just give us a minute to open the presentation Leandy has shared with us. Okay, we have it with us now.
Okay, great.
So Leandy, you can just tell me to change the slide, so I'll change the slide.
Sure, that's fine. All right. Okay, so thank you so much. Sorry guys for the technological difficulties we had. So my name is Leandy. I'm the head of sports science for Alliance Foundation. And today I really want to discuss something with you guys which is really close to my heart, which is a career in sports science. I'm a sports scientist myself, so yeah, I'm very, very excited to share this with you guys. All right, before you can just go to the overview slide. All right, so basically what I will start off with discussing is why is sports science so important in India right now. Then we'll look at why should you choose a career in sports science. Then I'll just discuss briefly the difference between sports science and exercise science, because these two are used interchangeably and is really quite confusing if you don't know what the two is. And then I'll discuss careers in sports science, few of the ones that I know about and that I have an interest in. And then pretty much I'll just discuss quickly the collaboration with the sports science and medicine team. And then a few personal qualities which I think is really important in anyone wanting to do sports science. All right. Okay, so firstly, what I have here is I've kind of related the population of a country with the medal tally in the last Olympic Games. So if we look at the countries with big populations such as the US, Russia, China, you can see that their medal tallies are quite high, like 121 in the US, 56 in Russia, 70 for China. But then if you look at Great Britain, which is a smaller country or smaller countries, you can see that they actually have a high medal tally as well at 67, even though their population is just 66 million. All right, and now I know what you all are going to think. You're going to think, okay, these are first world developed countries. But if we look at Brazil, which is a developing country, and you look at their population as well, they also got about 19 medals at the last. Now, if we come to India, India has a really big population and only 2 medals in the last Olympic Games. All right, so my point basically is that we need to get more sports science specialists in India, right? So people, if you just go to the next slide. All right, so this is my personal opinion. You might have a different opinion, but for me, I feel like there's a lot of lack of infrastructure in India. However, a lot of companies now are coming up with high performance centers, so that's excellent, and this will really help athletes' performance. So infrastructure is a big thing. And then I think there's a lot of, I think physical education, which Vipul mentioned as well, is really a big area where we can improve in India. As to say that basic skills can be taught at the basic level, and then when athletes get to, say, national, international level, they already have those basic skills, and that can make them also perform better and make them better athletes and give them a longer career as well. So there's many of the athletes that I've seen who've won international, national medals who just haven't been taught how to run. So this is a basic skill that should be in the physical education system, and they should be taught how athletes and kids everywhere should be taught how to run. All right, and then if you look at international athletes, a lot of them have a whole team of experts behind them, right? It's not just the coach and the physiotherapist. So in India, I think most athletes just have a coach and they have a physiotherapist if they're lucky. If we look at performance, we need to put a whole team together to be able to work on these little small things to make athletes perform better. So it's not just about the coach and the physiotherapist and the strength and conditioning coach. It's about a team effort. And these teams don't exist currently in India. And I think that's why it's so important to have these discussions so that we can educate everyone on what is actually out there, so that more Indian sports scientists can be available for these athletes. And then the next one is, I might step on a few toes here, but I think it's really a focus on cricket, has been placed for a lot of years. I also love cricket, but I think a lot of emphasis and money has gone into cricket, and I think it's really important that we start working on other sports. Again, this is improving. There's a lot of hockey leagues and kabaddi leagues and football leagues, so this is improving. But I think because of the history, it needs to still improve a little bit more. And then again, a lack of sports science education. I say this, but again, ISST is working on curriculums for this, so that's excellent. I think just more sports science professionals should come out of the system, which is really important. All right, so the next part, let's go on, Vipul. Okay, so why should you choose sports science as a career? Firstly, you have to have a passion for sport. If you don't have a passion for sport, I don't think you should be in sport really. So there is a popular mindset as well that you can't have a career in sports. However, that's not true. I'll show you guys later in the slide what different types of things you can do in sport. It's not just about being a coach or being a physical education teacher. There's a lot of things in between careers that you can pursue. And then the realization that sports as a sector can contribute to GDP. So a lot of money is getting pumped into sport currently. So it's a great place to be, and it's quite important that you make the right choices now for your career. And then there's, again, like I said, there's variable options. It's not just this or something else. There's a lot of options. And then pretty much the opportunities are unlimited. So that's great. All right, cool. You can just go on. All right, so this is quite an old picture, but I think my point here that I just want to make is that sports science the demand for it is increasing. So meaning that the opportunities for it is increasing. So as you can see there, it's about a 26% increase, right? Which is huge. So this is by 2022. So this is really important that you realize that there's a lot of areas, first of all, that you can specialize in, and that there, in India specifically, there is a lot of increase in demand for this. All right, people can just go on. Okay, so now let's just look at the differences between sports science and exercise science. These are used interchangeably, but it's good to just know what the difference is. So sports science is basically using sport and exercise science within high performance sport to maximize the performance, right? So sports science is a lot about performance, whereas exercise science is also using those same principles, but it's more for general health and fitness and to improve your physical and mental health, right? So that's a big difference. Sports science, performance, exercise science, wellness, health, things like that. All right, so this is a very interesting diagram that I got, and it pretty much, in my head, explains sports science to me. When you're studying sports science in undergraduate, you will study each of these things, like the Paul also said in that first presentation. You will study biomechanics, strength and conditioning, nutrition, physiology, psychology. All of these things you'll study, and it's excellent to have a good base knowledge of all of these. But as a sports scientist, you can choose one of these and specialize in it, right? So say, for example, I'm specialized in strength and conditioning. So I'm a sports scientist, first of all, so I have a broad knowledge of all of these, but I've specialized in strength and conditioning. And again, this will also depend on where you're at. It's not clear cut, okay, if you're a sports scientist, this is what you do. Especially in India right now, where we don't have the other professionals. As a sports scientist, you will have to do the testing, you will have to sometimes, take training sessions, you will have to do some performance analysis or the other. So it's really important that it's not just, oh, I'm just going to do this. It's a broad, overlapping science, right? All right, cool. Next one. Okay, so I really love this picture because it really shows pretty much everything that I do on a day-to-day basis. So I'm lucky. I have a sports nutritionist, sports psychologist, I have physiotherapists who I'm working with, and we have a sports medicine doctor which we work with. So I'm lucky. I have a team of people who help me. But if you don't, which is the case for most people, then this is pretty much all of the things you do. You have to take care of nutrition, you have to look at hydration, you have to do how fatigued they are, how many hours the athletes sleep. You have to take their body composition, you have to do their force-based training, their workouts. So this is broad, but it will depend on who you're working with and what your role is, right? But again, it's really important to have basic knowledge of nutrition, psychology, all of these things, so that you can better help your athlete, right? At the end of the day, we want athletes to perform. So the better your knowledge is, the better the athlete can perform. All right, cool. Okay, so basically it comes down to, firstly, doing a lot of research. This is very important. Nothing that you implement should just be ad hoc. It should really be based on solid research, right? And then after the research, we do assessments. Assessments then basically guide us into our training programs and monitoring. But then reports is very important, because a report is probably the most boring part of it, but a report is really important because it shows the other team members in the sports medicine, in your sports medicine team, basically what are your findings, and that can then, their decision making can then depend on your reports. So reports is very, very important. And then from your reports and from your assessments and the research, you make your training programs. The training programs, again, you have to reassess, you have to adapt your training programs depending on what kind of training the coach is doing, and then you have to monitor that whole training program, and you have to monitor your athlete through that. So this is just, again, this is not the end all be all. There might be more things that you do, but this is the basic structure of how it should work. Your sports science should work. All right, then now we're just going to look at specific roles under sports science. But again, this is not exhaustive. I could probably do a whole presentation just on physiologist's job, all right? So it's really important that you don't just take this and this is the only thing that an exercise physiologist does. Just a brief outline to give you guys an idea of what kind of careers are out there. The exercise physiologist basically is a study of function of the body under stress. And basically it comes down to doing a lot of assessments. Again, exercise stress tests, things like cardiovascular function and metabolism are two really important things. Like you can see on the right, this is a VO2 max test. So assessment is really important, and then developing individualized exercise prescriptions that then will go into your exercise program. Again, exercise physiologists do a lot more than just this, but just to give you a brief outline. All right, then strength and conditioning. Strength and conditioning coach essentially has three main roles: to improve the performance, to reduce the incidence of injuries, and then teaching lifelong fitness and movement skills. Very important. You need to be able to demonstrate, you need to be able to coach movement skills. This is very important. And then just basically going through the bit of the roles and responsibilities is that you firstly have to understand the demand of the sport. If you do not understand the sport you're working with, you can't program for it. So this is really important. And then from that, you design your program. And then again, like I said, that program you have to monitor. And then having also a basic knowledge of the sport technology that's out there, GPS trackers, you know, velocity-based training, all of these things, you have to keep yourself up to date with that. Otherwise, if you get those equipment, if you're lucky enough to have those equipment, it's good to just kind of be able to use them effectively. Because nothing is worse than testing just to test, right? So you have to make sure that you know all of the latest technology out there and how to use it as well. And then again, manage your fatigue and your recovery. Again, this goes hand in hand with nutritionist, and you have to make sure that, you know, whatever fuel they need, they're getting in and they're recovering properly. And then you interpret your data, you make informed decisions, you adapt your training program according to that. And then one important thing is that misconception that's surrounding strength and conditioning is that it's just ad hoc. You can just come into the gym, write something on the board and just do it. This is not true. It's very scientific. It's based on research. This is very important. All right. And the next one is, you can just go to the next one. All right, biomechanics. This is also an area that's probably not so common in India. And this is also something that as a sports scientist or as a strength and conditioning coach or as an exercise physiologist, you need to be aware of. You need to be aware of the mechanics, the mechanical laws that govern the body and how that impacts their performance in the end, right? So if you look at the picture below, this is a sprinter, right? And you can actually see they've drawn out all the angles for the hip, the knee, the ankle. So all of these will give you, if you analyze the performance or the movement of an athlete, this can again go to the coach, and you can provide the coach with information to make decisions about their technique or about their training program. So this is really important aspect of sports science as well. And it gets quite technical, and it's a lot of like data gathering and all of these things. But yeah, this is basically what biomechanics is. All right, next one. All right, so sport nutrition. Again, this is not just giving an athlete a diet. The biggest impact the sports nutritionists make is by helping athletes recover better and allowing them to have feel for their sessions, which means athletes can train harder and they'll recover quicker. So it's not just about, oh, we need to make sure we're eating enough protein, all of that. It's not just about that. It's about, at the end of the day, an athlete able to train better will perform better in the end. So it's not just, you know, calculating, oh, 3 nuts for this. It's not just about that. It's about them able to train better and then eventually perform better. And then periodizing your diet plan as well. So what a nutritionist usually does is she looks at the competitive season, she looks at the training cycle that you're in, and she periodizes her diet plan according to that to make sure that you have enough fuel in different phases of the sports season. All right, sports psychology. I think if you're working in the sports science field, you have to have a knowledge of psychology. You build a relationship with your athlete, and to some extent, you will have to give them guidance with a few psychological things. You have to also be aware of what their mood is, how they're feeling. You have to take care of the athlete as a person first, and as an athlete second. This is really important, and why sports psychology has 2 layers to it. Firstly, to improve your performance, yes, but secondly, to also take care of the athlete as a whole, to take care of their well-being and their individual psychological needs, because we know that sport is such a high pressure environment, and if an athlete does not take care of their mental health, it can consume them. So this is a really, really important part of the sports science process as well. All right, then we get to performance analysis. And this is for all you guys who like statistics and all of these things. Basically, performance analysis, again, will give us a lot of information on how an athlete did in a specific match or a specific competition. And then that provides information to the coach and the athlete on what kind of performance indicators they can improve. Again, there's a lot of data analysis behind this. There's a lot of research that goes into this. And it's just important to know that this is a really important part of sports science, because at the end of the day, this will show you how an athlete is performing on the field, right? At the end of the day, that's where we want to make the biggest impact. So this is really important data for the coach, for the other sports medicine professionals, such as the physiotherapists as well. So yeah, this just gives you a lot of data and a lot of things to make decisions with. All right, the next thing is that I want to talk about is, this is really important. I know a lot of you probably don't have sports medicine teams around you, but in an ideal situation, this is what a team would look like, more or less, maybe some different things here and there, but it's really important that you communicate and that you work well as a team. Honestly, an athlete won't perform as well if the team isn't working together. Okay, we all have little bits and pieces to play, and you need to work together to be able to successfully help your athlete. Okay, and then the last part, which is probably my favorite part and what I've learned out of experience, is that you need to have a good work ethic, and you need to be determined. The sports field is very competitive, so you need to have a lot of determination to be able to reach the top. Okay, you need to be organized. These athletes are, dependent on you, so you need to be very organized, plan your sessions well, document all of your training that you're doing. This is really important. And then you're gonna be dealing with a lot of egos. Again, you're working with athletes, you're working with other sports medicine staff, you're working with coaches. There will be a lot of egos, but it's important to stay level-headed, to stay grounded, to just put your head down and do your work, okay? Like I said previously, teamwork is very important. And in team to communicate is very important. We communicate properly to coaches, medicine doctors is really important. And again, working with people, you have to have a really thick skin. I think just working with people in general, that is one skill that you need to have. You need to have a sense of humor. No one wants to come into a grumpy person testing you, right? So just have a sense of humor. Things won't always go according to plan. Having a good laugh about it is good. And then for me, the most important one is being willing to learn. I always tell people when I take interviews that this is the most important quality. If someone is willing to learn, especially in sports science where it's so vast and it's developing day by day, and there's new research article, new research being on, new technology coming out. You have to be willing to learn, no matter how old you are, no matter how much experience you have. Things are ever evolving and ever changing. Yeah, so I think that's it for me. You guys can feel free to reach out to me. Just the last slide. Yeah, this is my email address. And yeah, we'll answer your questions probably later. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Leandy, for sharing such detailed and crisp information about the field in sports science. Now I request Mr. Anand Pandey to share his experience in the fitness industry and how is it changing from time to time.
Hi, thank you, Apurva. So, firstly, good morning, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. I'm so happy to see such wonderful participants having so much interest in sports and fitness industry. So, I'm going to talk more about how fitness industry and how it is supporting sports. As we all know that every sport we require good fitness levels, and that's how fitness plays a role in every sport, whatever you are involved in. It is always said that you follow your passion and you make good money out of it and you get good satisfaction. That's not always true, because if somebody has a passion of, say, working video games, it's really difficult to make money out of that. Those some people do. But I really believe that following your passion and using it to help other people is how you can make good presence, good money, and good future and career out of it. So, and people really can sense it. People can sense if you are doing it for money or if you're doing it really to help them. So, I really believe that in our industry, it is very important that in fitness industry, you are doing things, you are passionate, and you are believing and trying to help other people for it. So, you're trying to really change people's health and people's lifestyle. That's how you can make a good career. So firstly, if this is how your mindset needs to be when you enter fitness industry. Talking about the market of fitness industry, it is huge, and we are really at a very basic stage right now. As you must be knowing that only 2% of our entire population is involved in some kind of exercise, may it be walking or may it be playing some sport. Only 1% of that actually exercises properly. Like they actually go to a gym or they are following a fixed fitness routine, a well-planned fitness routine. So it is very rare. Imagine out of 130 crore people in India, only 1 or 2% people exercising. So, and with current situation, yes, the benefits of exercise, the awareness about exercise is growing in people. So imagine, say about 10% people tomorrow going to gyms or 10% people getting into fitness industry. Uh, it is going to be huge. The market is huge. So we are at a very basic stage right now, and we have a very good way forward. The industry is very big. Uh, how and what are the things included in the industry? We talk about that. So first, if we take say different things in fitness industry, different platforms. The very common platform when a person is thinking about getting into fitness industry, he thinks about becoming a personal trainer, a fitness trainer or a fitness coach. So yes, it is important that you need to do a very good certification for the same, which is a must, and there is no other way out of it. But that is not the only thing which will help you. You need to have a certification, and along with that you need people skills. You need to develop marketing skills. You yourself need to have a good physique. So there are various things that are these skills are very important to that. So as a personal trainer, if you start, it's very important that you need to understand the entire cycle. You need to understand member psychology. A trainer generally is very excited and he really wants to change the other person's health, and he feels the other person is also very excited about the same, which initially, yes, people are, but they tend to lose their excitement. They tend to lose their interest very soon. So it is up to the trainer to make sure that he is consistently motivating these people, and he's keeping them involved in the exercise. He's also he needs to understand that not all members which they work with want to become athletes, or you need to understand what is their goal exactly and need to work according to that. So that's what a personal trainer's role is. He needs to really understand, so do a thorough need analysis, do a body composition, do all the measurements, and then have a good fitness plan designed for it with good timelines and achieve them, and also have continuous discussion with the member on how, where were we lacking, where we need to work on. uh, Fitness is not only about exercise, so it is also about rest and recovery, and also about nutrition. So with a member, there is a team working. There is a trainer working with a member. There is a nutritionist working with a member. Both these people are working and making sure that the member is achieving the goal. It's really important. Yes, again, I will emphasize on that, is to understand the member's psychology and plan the routine according to that. You need to be, yes, as Lendi also said, that you need to be very cheerful when a member comes in. You cannot be. It is a tough job. You are working the whole day. You have to start your work early mornings. You have long days. You have a lot of physical energy that you have to spend in your profession. It is a tiring job, and a very frankly a thankless job. But still, you need to be very fresh. You need to be enthusiastic. You need to be positive, because a lot of members want to talk with you, and they are looking for continuous motivation from the trainers. So that's what a trainer needs to present to them. So that's about personal training, where, as I said, yes, certifications are there. There are a lot of certifications in the market, but a good certification needs to be selected. And along with that, you also need to work on your PR skills. You need to work on your marketing skills. And that's how you can make a successful personal trainer's career. There are other platforms also in a gym. So trainer is the backbone of the gym, and there are other platforms also. Like there's a sales manager who's looking after the business, who's making sure that regular income is coming in. He's making sure that the renewals and retentions are high. There are fitness programmer, who are the people who generally do all the medical checkup, and they see the current fitness level of the person and accordingly plan uh, the next future objective, plan a fitness regime as per the objective of the person. Uh, it's very There is a team. There's a fitness tester who is doing testing with the members every 2 months to make sure and see and analyze what is the change in the performance of the member, and accordingly there's an entire team working here together. There's a branch manager who's looking after the business, as well as he's looking after the member satisfaction. He's making sure that his members, his customers are getting good results. So that's how an entire team is working together to run a gym. There's a nutritionist, yes, who plays a very big and major role to make sure that the person achieves his target. Mostly the people are focused on their aesthetics, but it is our job to also create the awareness that it's not always about the aesthetics. Fitness is needs to have a very holistic approach, and it cannot just be seen as aesthetics. Whereas aesthetics is also a very important part, though. Yes. So that's how an entire team of people, or fitness trainers, or fitness programmer, fitness testers, there's nutritionists, general trainers, personal trainers. There's in fact a master trainer. A master trainer is the one who kind of works on the standardization. So every gym needs to be operating in a very standardized way. The master trainer makes sure that every person who's joining the industry or joining the company is all teaching their members in a very standardized way. His job is to make sure that he's continuously upgrading the knowledge of the trainer's team that he's looking after. So these are the different profiles that you will see in the gym. There is on the other side, the admin side, as I said, there's a sales manager with a sales consulting team who make sure that when a person comes into the gym, they give them a nice introduction of the place. And also, as I said, people come for weight loss and aesthetics, but they also create the awareness as to why exercise and good health and good nutrition is really important. Along with that, there is a team of customer service officers who are working very hard on making sure that the customers are happy. If you see, gyms are one of the most toughest service-based businesses. The reason being that it is the only business or only place where a customer would be visiting every day and spending at least 45 minutes to 60 minutes. So there are the customer is coming to you regularly, and you need to be making sure that every single time he's having a good experience and he leaves your premises with a big smile on his face and with good satisfaction. So that's how a gym platform works in fitness industry. There are other platforms too, like there are a lot of fitness influencers with good physique. If you have a very smoking hot body, you can become a fitness influencer. And the fitness influencers, as you might be seeing on Instagram and Facebook, they have their pages where lakhs of people are following them. So these are people who kind of are associated with the supplement businesses mostly, because supplement business is a $6 billion business. It's a huge part of fitness industry, and fitness influencers use their influence on people and use their followers to help these supplement brands reach people. So they make very good money out of it. You might be seeing them holding glasses of different brands in their hands and promoting that. So fitness influencers are, yes, they are doing it to help you also, but they also get very big checks paid from it. You might be seeing fitness influencers on YouTube having continuous videos. Yes, it is there to help you, but in the meanwhile, they are also getting big checks from YouTube. So as I said initially when I started, that if you use your passion to help people, you will definitely grow. You will become an influencer, and you will also make very good career out of it and make good money too. So, the second platform was the fitness influencers. They are also the sponsored athletes. So what do sponsored athletes do? They are people who have won a lot of competition, maybe IFBB Pro, and then they create a platform and they reach to that level where there are lakhs of followers. And again, yes, the supplement industry or the equipment industry, businesses which are associated to the fitness industry are taking help of them and paying them big amounts to make sure that their products are reaching to the market. There is also a way that a lot of people who have reached a very good level in their fitness industry, in their bodybuilding careers or athlete careers, use instead of promoting some other supplements, have nowadays started creating their own supplement brands. And that is a very good way of making a very good business, because you are eliminating the middleman and a very profitable business. So that's another way of being successful here. Another part is the physical therapist. We call them the physiotherapists. So that is another platform which is around 4 years of study, and if you want to go into masters, around 4 to 6 years of study, where you are like a personal physical therapist for people. Mostly these people work with athletes, sports people, or they are working with people with medical conditions, physical medical conditions. And that is also a good way of getting into fitness industry. A very good way. You can really help a lot of people change their health, become better, more performance, and you can also help the sports people get more better into their careers. So DND just spoke more about it. So it's not always about making money, but if you focus on making sure that you are really helping the people, that's a very good way of going ahead in fitness industry, because people really can sense it. I really believe that if you can find and identify that expertise in you, which you can gel with the fitness knowledge, then that works a very wonderful combination. Like you must be seeing, uh, I'll give an example. There are a lot of people who are very well certified, have good fitness knowledge, and they are also good in technology. So such people have created a lot of tools which are nowadays used in fitness industry, and they are on a very highly required. They really empower the trainers, the nutritionists, and the team which are working to deliver the best results. So yes, fitness-based softwares and fitness-based tools is another platform in the fitness industry which is picking up really fast. It, things which not only are connected to sales but other performance-based things, like there is a body composition in body you might be seeing. It's a wonderful machine. It helps you analyze and work on your weak parts. There are good technologies like Fitbit is there, and Apple watches are there, which are fitness bands, and that really helps you analyze where you stand, where is your resting heart rate, how was your sleep. There are tools, there are meal planners where you actually see the distribution of the macros of carbohydrates, fat, protein, fiber, which a normal person cannot understand. But with the help of these tools, he really can understand where he stands. So that is another very good platform in the fitness industry where a lot of businesses are picking up, and there are a lot of entrepreneurs coming into this field. The other platform is also fitness magazines or fitness channels which are coming up, where you will see a lot of influencers coming in. You will see people who have spent many years in this industry coming in, talking about different experiences, about businesses, or different experiences about their different clients, different scenarios, different devices which are coming in. So yes, fitness magazines, fitness channels are also a very big business which is coming up now. So there are these various things which are present in the fitness industry, and you need to, when you are planning to get into fitness industry, you need to understand. Yes, you can always start with a basic certification. The easiest way is just get associated to a gym where they generate members for you and customers, and you train them. But you also need to think about these other platforms which are available in the fitness industry. So which are really great, and they are booming up again. So as I started that our market is huge. We are just tapped only 1.5% of our population, and imagine now it goes to 3%, 4%. It is going to be amazing. There are going to be so many people who are online based training, as I in the current situation is doing so well. So it's a wonderful industry to get into. There are a lot of platforms which you can cover. Make sure that you are getting in with your passion, and with the belief of, and with the passion of helping people change their lives. The most important thing. And second is find out that niche talent in you, that talent which you can combine with your fitness knowledge. And that is what makes you different from the other people. Yeah, like I would say in when I started as a personal trainer, uh, I really liked understanding what the person really wants, what I liked understanding the person in front of me, my member, and that really helped me. So psychology was something that I was always interested into, and combining the psychology and fitness knowledge, it really helped me become a very good trainer. So that's how you need to find that niche into you, that talent into you, and combine it with the fitness knowledge, which makes you different and from the other people. So friends, that's what fitness industry is all about. I'll talk about ISFS that I'm representing. So ISFS is ISST School of Fitness Sciences, where we have such programs where you can get into. Uh, so you can, if you want to become a personal trainer, or if you want to become a nutritionist, if you want to start your own business and become an entrepreneur in the fitness industry. So we are covering these diploma courses and master's courses. In our courses, in our curriculums, we cover all the anatomy, physiology, kinesiology. We kind of do the entire, we do practicals onto how actually whatever theory that you have learned and understood, how to apply it to a member. It's something that I found missing in fitness industry, and we inculcated that in ISFS. Is we have seen a lot of courses teaching you all the good knowledge and all the good theory, but there has been a gap onto how to use this knowledge and apply it to the member base in order to generate commercials. Is what has been lacking. So the people skills, the marketing skills, the actual grooming and etiquette, the soft skills is what I'm talking about. So we really work very hard on making sure that we train you on these soft skills and we cover this gap, so that whatever you have learned and understood, and the theory that you have learned, the practicals that you have learned can actually be applied to make a successful business in the fitness industry. So that is what our USP is at ISFS, and it's been a pleasure and a wonderful platform. Thank you, Dr. Vipul and ISST, for providing us with the same, and all the viewers. If you have any questions, please type it out, and I'll be very happy to answer it at the end. Thank you, Apurva. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Anand, for your impactful inputs about the fitness industry. It was really informative. Now I request Dr. Vipul Lunawat to give us a brief information about ISST and what different courses has ISST to offer.
Thank you, Anand, and thank you, Apurv, for giving me the dais. So now we come to this point where we'll be talking about our institute, the Institute of Sports Science and Technology, and what career opportunities we have to offer through our different programs. So what we are going to do is there are a lot of questions coming up, and it is practically impossible to read all those. So what we'll do is we would want you to raise your hands. You can raise a hand in the chat box, and we'll be we'll be allowing you to talk and ask questions to the audience. We'll be having all the panelists open for the questions. So if you have any questions, please raise your hands, and then we'll be taking your questions one by one. So just quickly, let's go through the presentation which we have here, wherein we'll be talking about what ISST is. So under ISST, we are covering programs in two modules. One is the distance education module, wherein you can do the courses online from our website. You will be given access to the student account, where you can access the study notes and the video lectures of experts and professionals. Plus, you also have an internship project which you have to do as part of the coursework, for which ISST will be guiding you through our connect in the sports and fitness industry. So just to take you quickly through the slides, this is this presentation, we can share it later on. You can download the same brochure from our website, isst.co.in. So you can read the detailed content later on. So I'm going to quickly move towards what ISST is. So all the courses at ISST are certified by International Sports Professionals Association, as you can see in the bottom part of this page. So ISPA is a US-based organization. It is one of the biggest organizations in the world which certifies sports